my friends. How's everyone this morning? I hope you're well. I set my stage a little differently this morning. My normal is this, but because the amaryllis are blooming, and I just had to share this with anybody who didn't see it. Yesterday I made a video and I had the 4 of the 5 original ladies here. These are Apple Blossom is the variety, and back in January of 2008, I started out with 5 bulbs. 4 were Apple Blossom, and 1 was a red. I happened to be at Target. They were having an after Christmas sale. The bulbs in a little pot were $10 a piece, and they had it 90% off. And for some reason or other, it came up as 90 cents, so it's a little more than 90% off. And those 5 were planted, and then I realized that they actually divide, and that's how they propagate. And from those 5, I have given a few away, and I've probably now have close to 100, either in pots or mainly in the ground, because it's just in Florida it's so much easier just to plant them and let them go. And about every 3 or 4 years I will dig up the whole cluster and separate everybody, and you have the original mom, and then you have all of her pups. And sometimes those pups will break themselves off, sometimes you need to break them off. But anyway, I thought this was so pretty because not only did I get the original stock, but I think you can see that this second one is coming up, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 more blooms. So 8 blooms off 1 stalk, and this is the 16th year for it. So anyway, that was my show. So what are we doing here today? We're doing a 1,000 pound challenge for this year. Today is the 12th video, the 12th week I've completed. I say we, but I feel like you're coming along with me, and I really appreciate that. It's 1,000 pounds that I'm going to divert from the landfill or garbage or even recycling, because we still recycle and we put things out for recycling, but I don't know where that goes. I can't see that. So this is my commitment that I'm going to take 1,000 pounds off the table, and it's going to go back into the garden, or be recycled into something, you know, like into my worm production, you know, into like, I don't really weigh the bins or anything like that, but something that would go back into the worms. So the things that I would use, just a real recap, would be like our fruit and veg peels. We probably, you know, it's amazing when you do something like this, you realize what you're using. It's a wake-up call, and it's kind of an awareness. It's like when you go on a diet and they tell you to write down everything that you eat, and you go, well, I don't really eat that much. Then you realize, oh my God, I eat all day. We go through about 1.5 pounds, just on an average, about 1.5 pounds a week. Strawberry tops, banana peels, if we're not eating our potato peels, well then, you know, that would go in there. Carrots, if I peel them. I'm trying to think of just anything else. Broccoli, the stalks, the outside. So all those different things. Our eggshells, I have seen people where they just take them and crumple them and put them in, like they were feeding chickens or putting them out under a tree or whatever. And if you don't have a compost or worms, and you want to just take your eggshells and let them dry out and then crumble them and put them under trees, it's kind of an incentive for other birds. They see it, and it instills in them oh, it's spring, it's time to make babies. At least that's what I've been told. I haven't talked to the bird personally. Shrimp shells. and my coffee grounds. But the shrimp shells, it's funny how we're in this tight knit little group of vermiculturalists. And my friend Sandra just put out one this morning. She's over at Nana's Worms and Gardens, and she lives on Vancouver Island. And a real smart lady. She's a retired biology teacher. And these are shrimp shells. And Sandra was asking the difference between a shrimp shell and a prawn shell. And my husband said, this is his theory, is because most people in the U.S., we call them shrimp because they're shrimp. They're crustaceans or the shrimp. If you look at most Asian dishes, they were considered prawns. And because England owned so much of the land over the whole world, and being Canada, they would call them prawns over there. That's his explanation. Her experiment over the last few weeks has been to take these, and instead of drying them, I bake them after I've washed them and cleaned them and everything, so that there's nothing on them that the worms would make the worms sick, like if you had breading or something like that, or garlic and butter. Anyway, if you take these and took them whole, just took them right off cleaned them, baked them a little bit, rinsed them, however, and you fed them to your worms, how long would it take for the worms to break them down? And she had a 1 week, a 2 week, and a 3 week. I won't give you the giveaway on how long it took or if she went any further. But I normally will grind these to the consistency that I grind my eggshells. I just feel personally that they have more surface and it's easier for the microbes to get in there and start doing their job, doing their business, So that's something else. Coffee shells or tea bags you can add. I add the filters because my filters, I did look it up, and they are 100% biodegradable, a cotton base. The twining tea bags have a little bit of cellulose in them. To be honest, it's not going to hurt the worms. You'll just have to pick it out afterwards. So this is just, what would you like to use? And if you were going to add it to your compost, that would be fine. If you don't have a compost and you're just adding it to your soil, what the heck? You can you can take a pretty decorative pot and you can layer it with all of your stuff and turn it and make your own compost out on your balcony if that's all you have. Any leaves that you have. This week, oh my goodness, we trimmed our shrubs, and this was a real eye-opener for me. I normally take the ligustrum, viburnum, the bougainvillea. I was throwing them away because they had spikes in them. I mean, the thorns are just, they're killers. I have sores. Anyway, I used to take them, this week I took them and I took the shrubs and I put them through the lawnmower. And I normally will have Rick do it when he's mowing the lawn. And so I get grass clippings and I get these chunks of shrubs. This week I did it myself as he was trimming, and I took them and I mowed them up very slowly with our mulcher mower. I took everything out of the bag, laid it out on the grass again, and then I kind of cross-cut the other way very slowly. And it's like the second time broke those leaves down and exuded the liquids that were in the leaves. What amazed me was the bougainvillea that is normally so spiky and killer. The second time I put all of that through the lawnmower, it came out and it was wet. It was almost like fruit that had come out of the freezer. And so that was a real eye-opener for me, is that I could give it to the compost. I could put that with carbon, my shredded cardboard, and or leaves, the Drake elm leaves, or another type of leaf that you're going to break down. So that was the other thing. Let me see, paper towel rolls. I've told you guys this time and time again. This is number 12 time I've been telling you. Your cardboard, you can either cut it up. I used to cut mine up and put it in with the worms and make pretty designs. Now it's fun to take it and actually fill it with some fruit or whatever and let the worms get in there and make their own little houses. Of course, whether you call it a toilet roll or whether you call it a loo roll, these are also excellent. And just a reminder that on average, the American uses 100 of these a year. Oh my goodness. If you're going visiting, we happen to be having our taxes done this week, and I had to use their bathroom, so I brought home my paper towels. Things that come in your boxes, your Amazon boxes. You get papers inside of these. They're great. It can all go worms, compost, in your decorative pot on the balcony. If you have a shredder, I have a 12 sheet shredder, and it takes my cardboard perfectly. But kids just love to tear things. So, and my husband is a big kid, so he has fun tearing cardboard. What did we do before we had shredders? Take yourself back 50 years, see how it was like. All these different things, stale cereal. I don't have it at my house, but maybe you do at yours. Oats. I have a friend who takes his oats and he soaks them in warm rainwater, and then he gives it to his worms. To me, I'm not recycling this. I don't count this. This is just something that I'm feeding the worms. If your crackers are stale, I missed bringing them up, but corks. You can use your corks. You can cut the corks up and use them to lighten your pots if you would like. They absorb liquid because a cork is a natural substance. It comes from a cork tree. And things like popsicle sticks, or if you go somewhere and it's Starbucks or any of the coffee places, their coffee cups are biodegradable, but they do have like a little cellulose type thing in between there. So anyway, I won't hold you for a whole lot longer. I did find out a couple thoughts this week. One, we love mushrooms. And I used to cut the ends off because, if the stem looked pretty gnarly, I wasn't sure I wanted to eat that. But now if I cut it off, of course, it goes in with my fruits and veg. But when you get your containers, if you get it in a container, you don't buy it loose, but if you get it in a container like this, there's always some dirt down there. There's always, because mushrooms grow either on logs, if they're shiitakes. I'm sure this baby bellas probably do the same, but a lot of them grow on compost, on mushroom compost. Boy, wouldn't you like to get some mushroom compost that would really be full of all these mycorrhizal fungi, all the mushroom spores. But it was just, I wanted to show you. That was at the base of it. That's dried out. I normally, and there's still some in there. But mainly what I do is whenever I finish with it, I will rinse it a little bit, a few drops of, and then I'll actually pour this on one of my plants. My porch plants, my jade on my porch, they grow really well. And I think it's because when I have a milk container, and we finish our milk, I'll take a teaspoon or a couple teaspoons of water, swish it around there, and then I drain that into my pot, into my jade or my Christmas cactus, holiday cactus, Easter cactus, whatever, any kind of cactus. And it's amazing the sugars in your milk that's left behind. So those are just two little things that you might want to think of. I actually have a question, and I hope you guys can help me. This was an Amazon package. There, you see. This was an Amazon package, and this had the I can't think of what I want to say. My home address. And when I peeled it off, here were the things that are in here. That you can see these little tufty things, but this kind of acts like a little pouchy. What is this? Does anybody know? It feels like it feels like cotton candy, actually. And I had a problem with those peanuts, those biodegradable peanuts. They really seem to make a mess in one of my shoebox worm bins. And I won't do it again because they seem to just slow the worms down. I don't know what the deal was, if it was just one experiment, if I used too much of it, whatever, but you know, I'll put them out in the garden. But anyway, I just wondered, I'm asking you a question. Can I use these? Is this biodegradable? Do I need to scrape it off? Okay, so for the moment of truth. Oh, hang on. Oh, thank you. It's another Winnie the Pooh mug. It was given to me, I think, probably 1983. So it's going on 40 years. I have to bring out my friends occasionally and use them. You know, I hang on to everything. Okay, so 12 weeks. 12 weeks. Brian came to visit, our neighbor, and he brought 16 pounds, 3.4 ounces of grass clippings. Yay! We cut our shrubs and ground them twice, and I got 8 pounds of leaves off the bougainvillea and everything. So yippee us. My other general, I don't think I got really much of anything else that I could say, but in total I got 35 pounds, 7.5 ounces. It's 12 weeks. I should have been at 240 pounds, and I'm up to 255, 5.6 ounces. So I've got just a little leeway, as you might call it. So I think that's it. I think I've shown you everything. These are the seeds. These are the seeds ground. That was about all I wanted to talk to you about. That's it. Oh, one other thing. There's a gentleman that you should really check out his work, and his name is John D. Liu. It's Liu, and he's 70. He's an American Chinese. He was a photographer, a cinematographer. He worked for CNN. And about 1990s, he got into ecology. Oh my goodness, the combination that these gentlemen, some of them are able to just go from one side to another. I don't know if he's a doctor of ecology or not, but he could be. He has worked on some projects all over the world, and he made the comment, live the change we want to see on Earth. Let that sink in. Live the change we want to see on Earth. So my personal is, I would like to see people garden what they've got and use what they have to make the world a little better place, and reusing what you have and making it yours, making your spot on Earth special. And if we do that and we pass that on to other people, and then we connect those dots, we don't have to go to rallies to make other people feel bad because they aren't doing it. We're living the way we want to see the world. As the kids say now, no judgment. Well, okay, no judgment. I can only do what I can do. I can only turn my own head to see what I can see. So I will leave you with that. This is Sunday, March 26th, and next Sunday will be April 2nd, and we will be a quarter of the way through this. So bye everybody. I hope you have a great day and a great week ahead. And if you haven't seen my video on the amaryllis, it was done yesterday. I hope you'll come back and look at it. Take care everybody. I love you guys. Take care. See you next week. Bye bye.